Hey guys, so going to show you how to do a thread graft again. So this one's using a branch from the same tree. So I collected this one, probably started summer last year, which was a really bad time to collect it, but it's done all right, so it's all good. I found it grown over sort of like a little cliff bank from the local creek, hence it was all twisted and gnarled. Decided to grow it over a rock as well. And all I've really done, because it was already twisted, was I just put there's an old USB cable actually, just put that around just to keep it down, so it was coming down, because it was coming straight out like this, and I just wanted it to cascade down. So I haven't actually wired it or put any of those kinks or twists in it. Mother Nature's much better at sculpting trees than I am, and she had already pre-done all that for us. So you can see this could almost come off now. I'm just leaving it there until it stops springing back at me with as much force. So probably another 12 weeks I can take that off. It's been grown over a rock all last summer, well, half of last summer probably, and autumn and winter, and you can see there's a lot of roots coming down through here. So inside this bottle there's actually a rock, and there's about 10 mil all around the rock. I've just black iron sand that I got from one of our local west coast beaches in Auckland, coming down Port Waikato. Rinsed all the salt off, and that's what's in there. Little bits of pumice as well, which I've added in, so I did mix some pumice into the mix with the sand. Have used just pure sand before previously. Then once the roots reach the bottom, which I did have a little bit of just pure organic matter, which was for my worm farm, so it's just worm vermicompost, so that was in the bottom. And what will happen naturally as you water it, some of that will get soaked up through the capillary reaction and reach the roots, and then the roots will sense that it's further down and they'll grow quickly down to the bottom. As soon as that was achieved and they'd reached the bottom and were starting to wrap around and become root bound at the bottom there, I then just cut the bottom off up to the level of where I wanted it on the rock. Put that in this training plastic bonsai dish, which I got off AliExpress. I believe it was like $6. And then just put my normal premium bonsai mix in there. So it's going to start ramification of those roots that have reached the bottom now, and as those come out, that'll start thickening these ones up, and I want them to get about pencil thick, which is what the trunk here is, before I take that off. And then what we'll do, it's probably be a next year job, we'll cut about 2 centimeters, about this much off, brush the dirt away, leave it a week, and just repeat it until the entire bottle's gone. So it does take a complete growing season to do that, but that's probably a job for next spring. So here's an example of a privet. I'm not going to show you the whole tree because it's in enough other videos, but you can see it's just over a rock, and that was done the same method a very long time ago. Eventually, because of the size of the rock I used and how big the tree's got now, it was just a tiny little seedling like that root growing bit down there. When I first got it many years ago, I wasn't particularly picking a rock for any reason other than see how it went. And eventually those roots are going to thicken right up and totally encapsulate the rock to the point where you'll no longer be able to see it, and it'll just look like one twisted giant old trunk. So what we're going to do with this one is we're just going to do a thread graft. So because it came from nature, I didn't get much light where it wasn't really doing too well and struggling, hence why it was this cool nice shape. But what I actually want is right here, I want to have a branch, and then further down I want to maybe have a branch here, and other places where there aren't any branches. So now it's in full light, we are getting bud back, so I won't have to do anything there. This part up here I don't think is going to get any bud back because the bark was slightly damaged, which is giving this really nice shape and too, which is really cool. But I want another branch coming out here, so what I'm going to do, I flip this around. I was just checking the diameter before, so I did put a drill bit in here, but I'm actually going to drill a hole all the way through here, and then one of these branches I'm going to bend down and go back through. So what you do want to do is make sure that whatever drill bit you use is thick enough for this branch to fit through without knocking any of the buds off. So I've left this a little bit late in the year to what I would have liked, so I'm not actually going to use this branch as my preferred choice. I'm gonna try this little one here because it hasn't got any branchlets yet. So I'm gonna pick the leaves off carefully, leaving behind the bud, and then try and bend him up through. And if that doesn't work, I'll fall back to one of these ones here. So let's drill this hole through now and give that a try. Just got my trusty Ryobi drill here. Don't have anyone helping me film today, so I'm just gonna cut the film there while I drill the hole. I'm sure you all know what drilling a hole looks like. Yeah, let's go drill that hole. And there we go, so hole's done. You should be able to see right through there now. And then all we're gonna do is try and grab this guy here, which is this branch growing around at the back here. If I poke him through, he's still quite green. If that fails, I'll try to use this one or this one as a fallback. So let's try that now. Okay, so that worked really well. So now we have a branch coming out where we wanted him, just right through that hole we made. And then on the other side, you can see where the branch was connected to the tree. So we can do two things with that. We can leave that there, let it thicken up and close that gap in naturally as it gets thicker and thicker, which would make the top of that a lot thicker than the bottom, which we don't really want to do. The other thing we can do is once this branch is grown enough that it's filled in the gap, we can then cut that off because it'll be grafted back over this side. Or what I'm actually going to do is just push that down and then hold it on with some electrical tape until it actually fuses into the bottom trunk without that big gap adding too much thickness to it. But it'll look quite interesting, I think, just having that little bit of a twist or turn in it. So it should add to the overall structure of the tree, which will be quite good. If this branch fails, I don't foresee it happening, then what we'll do is we'll use one of the other ones. But got the whole growing tip, so it should be okay. And then we've also got quite a few buds, if I can focus on them, on the bottom here. No, rubbish, doesn't want to focus. Oh, there we go. So you got those buds down there. So I'll check this back in about 12 weeks and give you guys an update, and we'll see what we've done. Just before I go, I'm going to put the electrical tape on there, so we'll show you what that looks like. Just give me a sec to do that. Okay, and there we go, guys, so all done. So I got our new branch here, got that hole. It's alright for it to jiggle around a bit. Once it gets bigger, it won't do that, as long as it doesn't move in and out this way, which the tape we put on to hold the other side in place so it fuses, that'll prevent that from happening just organically. So yeah, I'll check back in 12 weeks and we'll check the progress of this. Okay, thanks guys.